When it comes to ponds, my approach is pretty lazy. I'd almost call it set and forget. So today I'll show you how I manage fish health in my own ponds with as little fuss as possible. I'll also cover some of the most common fish problems and what your fish might be trying to tell you. If you don't already know me, my name is Kev. I help people build and maintain ponds without spending a fortune. If that sounds like your vibe, hit subscribe and check out my website ozponds.com for guides, calculators, and some helpful products to make pond life easy. The most important part of fish health is water quality. Good water quality will make keeping fish and owning a pond a breeze. Poor water quality leads to stressed fish, and stressed fish will become less immune to common problems. So the first thing we need is great filtration. There's lots of different ways that water can be filtered, but I prefer bog filtration. A bog filter is a filter that filters water the same way nature does. Good bacteria, tiny beneficial organisms, and plants. Bog filters are completely customizable and can be designed for any type of pond or even an aquarium. The size of the bog filter will depend on the sorts of fish you're keeping and the stocking densities. Basically, we want to have the right ratio of bacteria, beneficial organisms and plants for our particular pond setup. I've created a free calculator to help you size your bog filter and the correct pump flow rate, and you can get that completely free at ozponds.com. There's a link in the description. We need a good filter because when fish breathe, when they produce waste, and when we feed them, this all adds nitrogen to the water. Every fish keeper needs to learn about the nitrogen cycle because too much nitrogen can kill your fish. So here's the basic gist of how it works. The fish, the waste, and the food produce ammonia. Good bacteria convert this ammonia to nitrite. The nitrite is still toxic, but there's another group of bacteria that convert it to nitrate. Nitrate is less toxic, but we still don't want too much. Plants and water changes can help reduce the buildup of nitrate. The more fish, the more ammonia, and the more bacteria or filtration we need to offset it. Less fish or smaller fish means you need less bacteria and filtration, even if the pond is the same size. I hope that makes sense. So that's your first step, setting up the right amount of filtration for your pond. Like I already mentioned, I have a free calculator that you can use if you want to set up a bog filter, and I also have some DIY friendly designs for other types of filters if you want to check them out at ozponds.com. I like to set my ponds up so that they're natural. They're going to have substrate, that might be sand, dirt or pebbles. They'll also have natural elements like wood, leaves, plants and large rocks. I'll add aeration, waterfalls and streams, basically aiming to have plenty of oxygen available and good circulation. I'm aiming to turn the pond into a more complete ecosystem. Things are breaking down, organisms are helping, minerals and nutrients are slowly being released, plants and animals are recycling nutrients, and the natural elements help buffer the water and keep the water parameters more stable. It might look a bit more dirty, but the pond is very resilient. The fish are in a more natural state, the water's always clear and healthy, and it's very hands-off. I don't need to add in food, the fish feed on algae and biofilm, or the small critters that are feeding on this stuff. The pond isn't overstocked, as the fish numbers will regulate themselves. If there's an abundance of food, they'll keep breeding, and if food is in short supply, they'll eat each other. It's a fish eat fish world. Now, of course, this approach isn't for everyone, and if you want to clean a pond, more fish, and you want to feed them often, that's cool, you just need to be a little more hands-on. For a start, you'll want to watch your water parameters inside the pond, monitor the pH of the water, the amount of ammonia, nitrite and nitrate, the hardness and buffering capacity of the water, and make sure there's plenty of oxygen available, conduct regular water changes, and filter maintenance. Both methods of fish keeping work, and both will provide good water quality, and that's what's really important, the quality of the water. I'm the lazy ecosystem approach, so you won't learn much about the other method on my channel. But okay, so water quality is king, but what do you do if you notice that something isn't right? If the fish are gasping at the surface, that's a sure sign that the pond is running low on oxygen. This is more common in summer because the fish and bacteria are more active and warmer water will naturally hold less oxygen. Therefore, your solution is adding more oxygen. You can add additional aerators and water movement. Anything that breaks the surface of the water or creates ripples can help the water and the air mix. You can also try and cool the water if the pond is small. Some people like to keep frozen bottles in the freezer to throw in their ponds for this purpose. It's also possible that the pond is just too overstocked, and the amount of fish, bacteria competing for oxygen inside the water is too much. Another possibility is that the ammonia or nitrite is too high, so check the levels and do a water change if they are. But don't do it all at once. You need to do it gradually to avoid pH shocks. And if you're using mains water, add in a water conditioner. You might notice that your fish have clamped fins. Normally they are fanned right out, but if you notice that they're holding them tight to their body, this is a warning sign. The most common cause is stress, and the first thing to check is the quality of the water. Again, if the parameters are off, it's water change time. It could also be stress from predators. It might be a fish eat fish world, but every now and then it's a bird eat fish world, a cat eat fish world, or insert predator eat fish world. This is part of the broader ecosystem. Having plants and giving spots to hide can help, but some predators are incredibly determined. Because I'm lazy, and I understand that everything's got to eat, I don't net my ponds. But if you have persistent predators and you're really attached to your fish, this might be your best option. Other options include decoys, fishing line over the pond, and sprinkler systems on a sensor. Again, it depends on how persistent the predator is. If you've got some good solutions, throw them down in the comments to help your fellow pond aficionados. Clamp fins can also be noticed if there's a sudden change of water temperature. So if there's a sudden cold snap, this might be the culprit. It can also be a sign of parasites, but often with parasites you'll notice the fish trying to rub themselves on stuff. They usually do it in a really jerky way, like get up off me. I've also heard that high chlorine or chloramine can cause a similar reaction. If you did just do a water change, did you use mains or city water, and did you remember to add the conditioner? I don't think you can OD the conditioner, so if you think you forgot, you might want to add some in. With parasites, usually if the water quality is excellent and the fish are healthy, it's not going to cause too many problems. So again, water quality is king. But you might want to individually treat a sick fish with a salt bath or do a more general salt treatment to the pond. I've made a video on salt on ponds, and I'll make sure that link pops up at the end of this video. Another problem, you might notice an ulcer, some sores, or fuzzy white patches on the fish. This is often a bacterial infection or an infected sore or wound. Again, water quality is your first port of call. Poor water quality weakens a fish's immune system and allows infections to take hold. Salt can again be beneficial in helping the fish fight infection and reduce its stress. And sometimes you might see the fish sitting on the bottom and hardly moving. This is very common in cold temperatures, and it's perfectly normal, especially for fish like koi and goldfish. If the water isn't too cold, it could be a warning sign, so we check water quality again. If your fish are behaving this way, don't try and feed them. Uneaten food will just make it worse. There are lots of medications that are sold, but normally good water quality and salt can fix most issues. I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching. See ya.